Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing Season 4 of Sons of Anarchy. So 14 months after the events of Season 3, Sam Crow is now faced with a whole new breed of law enforcement, and it proves to be quite an inconvenience for Sam Crow considering they're just taking an interest in the world of the drug trade. So the general consensus among critics and fans alike is that Season 4 is the peak of Sons of Anarchy. And as I've said in my Season 2 review, I'm not sure which season is my favorite yet, but this one is definitely one of the best. So let's get into it. So from this point onwards, it feels as if the show is transitioning toward a darker tone. So if you're expecting a lot of the quirky charm of the first 3 seasons, then you might be disappointed. But for me personally, it was a step in the right direction. The drug trafficking storyline was pretty cool, considering it essentially ends up dividing Sam Crow. You know, some people agree with it, some people disagree, especially since Sam Crow is built on gun business rather than drug business. And it creates all of these really interesting conflicts between the characters. As far as the characters go, Jax has something special in mind for him and Tara for the sake of their relationship going forward. This is also the only season where his hair is super short. Some people like that, some people don't. Me, I dig it. Tara discovers a certain secret that was pretty much established towards the latter stages of Season 3, and this results in somewhat of a cat and mouse game between her and Gemma. Opie in particular faces some major challenges this season, putting him through the ringer like no other season before it. From this point onwards, a major storyline revolving around Juice is put front and center, where he's put into a pretty nasty situation, and he goes to great lengths to do what is expected of him. Wendy is back, although she's not quite the same meth addict that we were introduced to back in Season 1. And I really liked the way Answer was reintroduced in this season. You know, he's no longer on the force, he lives in his own trailer, and he has a very simple life now. The kind of life that I know a lot of people out there envy. And honestly, this iteration of the character grew on me over time. This season also introduces a lot of new characters as well, such as Lieutenant Eli Roosevelt, played by Rockmond Dunbar, who I'm sure most people recognize as C-Note from Prison Break. Following the dissolution of the charming police department, Roosevelt, being a member of the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Department, now serves as the head of law enforcement in Charming. And while unaware of the activities of Sam Crow, he is determined to expose them in any way possible, especially considering his checkered past as a criminal himself. There's Lincoln Potter, played by Ray McKinnon, who some people might recognize as John Proctor from Fear the Walking Dead. Potter is a US attorney who intends to set up a RICO case against Sam Crow. The RICO Act, for those of you who don't know, is an act designed for extending criminal penalties and controlling organized crime in the United States. Potter is just a very eccentric, manipulative guy who dresses like a biker, and for those reasons he really stood out to me among all the law enforcement characters. Let's not forget Galen Shea, a high-ranking member of the IRA. Unlike other members of that organization, he's very stubborn, cutthroat, and ruthless to the point where he has no remorse for killing pretty much anybody. And of course, Romero Parada, played by the always fantastic Danny Trejo. Parada is a pivotal member of the Galindo drug cartel, which in itself has connections with Marcus Alvarez and the Mayans. One thing I rarely discuss in these videos is the action, but for this review I can make an exception. You see, Season 4 features an episode called Call of Duty, which has some really cool over-the-top action reminiscent of the video games of the same name. And last but not least, the finale. Now, this was the only season to have 14 episodes instead of the usual 13 because the finale was pretty much a 2-parter. And it's just wild. There are so many shocking moments. It took a lot of risks that I think paid off in the long run. And the ending is kind of divisive among fans, but for me, I thought it was perfect. And it had some really interesting implications for the show going forward. And honestly, I don't have any issues with Season 4. It's yet another perfect season of Sons of Anarchy. So that's it, guys. Next time I'm going to be looking at Season 5. So thank you all for watching. Please be sure to like the video, share it and subscribe. Ring the bell, take care, and I'll see you soon.